Memphis fans might finally be seeing a corner turn. The Grizzlies just picked up a really impressive win over the Clippers, 121-103 Monday night. It wasn't fluky, Ruben.
Impressive is a strong word because the Clippers are horrible. They've only won 6 games all year.
See how they did Chris Paul?
The Clippers are not good. Jaren Jackson Jr. dropped 31. 21 of those came before halftime. Cam Spencer with 27 in that game.
Now, Ruben, we talked all year about scoring depth. When Spencer's hitting like this, does it start feeling real, like this team could make some noise again?
Yeah, that's what they were missing. They were missing somebody who could stretch the defense, hit threes, and keep the defense honest because Ja is not hitting threes like that. He is not a three-point killer. He's got to get downhill. He's got to shoot his floater. He's got to shoot his jump shot, and he's got to get to the rim. And this allows him to do that. But
I do feel like the energy is starting to look a little different. I know at the beginning it was a lot of rah-rah about Coach Isolo and his rotations and him beefing with Ja. Now it seems like they are coalescing. And one of the bright spots is Cam Spencer. His confidence is just equaling shot creation. I think on one of these threes, he looked at a guy and he said, drafted him over me. I like it. Because you remember stuff like that. Yeah, you took that guy over me, and now I'm about to bust you.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as long as we all know shooting is hard. Shooting is it's a rhythm, and it comes and goes. There's an ebb and flow in shooting. And you can, if you're relying on somebody, look, Cam is not Steph, right?
But he's been shooting the ball like Steph.
I think he's having a phenomenal season, and I hope it continues. But if you try to put the weight of the world on that guy right now, it's going to be too much. I think what's happening really well is that other people are scoring and that he's doing his job. And so as long as he's able to keep doing his job, then I think Memphis they do substantially look like a much better team. Started off so slow, so ugly, and has gotten so much better.
So with this Cam Spencer stretch, it didn't just start last night, or Monday night, I should say. It started with the Jazz game. But in that Jazz game, it was a totally different feel. Memphis got beat up late, defensive breakdowns pile up. We were focusing on this game because it was the return of Ja Morant, a guy who had been out since early November. He made his return. He gave out the free tickets. We thought that this was going to be a Ja showcase, and it looked like it. He scored the first points.
He had 21 in the game, but they still lost.
Yeah, and he didn't kind of turn it on Ja himself until the second half. After that first basket, he looked kind of rough. But you looked at this game, and you did not think that the Grizzlies were going to lose this game. So what did you think, when you were watching this game, like the highlights?
Well, I think they were trying to get used to having Ja back in the lineup because when somebody's gone for 2 or 3 weeks or longer, then your rotation changes. People are touching the ball and getting opportunities more when Ja's not there. Now when Ja comes back, you got to get him his touches again. And it just changes your flow of what you're doing offensively. That's the biggest issue that comes with long-term injuries is when you're gone, somebody else is taking your shots. Somebody else is getting your passes, and you got to figure out how, when you come back, how to get you back in the flow. And you cannot not get Ja Morant back in the flow. So that means you're taking the ball out of somebody else's hands who's been contributing, and that can impact the energy, that can impact the flow, that can impact the ball movement.
You talk about a guy who's been taking his shots. It's been Cam Spencer. Like he said it, but he said it. The bigger story for him isn't scoring at all. In fact, let's take a listen to what Cam Spencer said after that Jazz game.
I was focused more on the defensive end, trying to get stops. Credit to my teammates and the coaching staff. I feel like they put us in a good position to be successful. To be honest, don't focus on scoring, just focus on making sure that the Grizzlies score. If it's me, if it's not, if it's somebody else, then great. We have a very easy team to play with. I feel like the ball moves very well, and that makes it easier for everybody on the offensive end.
Now, while I love that, if you want to be honest, the defense is not very good right now in the NBA. And so even on that inbound play that we just showed, it was a simple up screen. Cam came down to the corner. Since the time you've been in grade school, what's the one pass you don't give up on a baseline inbounds?
It's a three-pointer.
Corner threes, right? And nobody guarded the corner three on the inbound.
That's the easiest thing to guard,
So the defense, I'm not taking anything away from Cam's ability to make shots because it doesn't matter if they're guarding you or not. You still have to put the ball in the bucket. What's going to happen, though, is with the way he's shooting the ball, people are going to start keying on him harder. And so he's going to get less open looks. And so they're going to have to become more creative on how they actually get him the ball. One thing I always loved about Steph when I watched him play was how much he moved without the ball. Mm-hmm. How many times he was setting screens for somebody, then popping, then rolling, then coming back through out of an elevator screen, then popping to the top of the key. I mean, the dude would be moving for 15 seconds before he ever touched the ball. That's what's going to have to happen for Cam Spencer.
And if it happens, hopefully he'll know how to adjust. But a big thing is we'll need more from Jaren Jackson. Now,
he's been doing more lately.
Yeah, we saw him in the game against the Clippers. But the Jazz game, he only had 12 points. He didn't play well. In fact, I spoke to him after the game. This is what he had to say. He didn't sugarcoat it.
I probably need to make more shots. That always helps. And then, some of their players got hot a little bit first half, quieted down a little, but, Kevin Love especially in that one stretch, I think we just communicating better, making sure I get a hand up and tracking him better. So, just being better offensively and defensively for sure.
Now, Ruben, I think that's leadership. Like we said with Penny, doesn't blame the scheme, blames himself. But how did that hit you on that?
If you have to admit that you're not playing defense on Kevin Love, but do I have to say anything else? Kevin Love hasn't been good in a decade. And you're letting Kevin Love get hot, and then after the game saying, well, I probably should have played defense on him. Yeah, you probably should play defense on him.
I was surprised Kevin Love was out there.
That's what I'm saying. So
the Jazz.
But that's my beef with the NBA in general. I mean, you know that. But that's just my beef in general.
I'm glad you set it up. Let's zoom out from the individual games. There's a big question about style surrounding basketball today, especially in Memphis, and Ruben says it all the time. But Tigers head coach Penny Hardaway made headlines with comments this week about how the NBA has become almost all threes. Let's take a look at the quote. Penny Hardaway says the NBA isn't too fun to watch anymore. He says, over the years, to me, it's just getting worse and worse. Not in a bad way, but for me to watch, because I'm in college, I see the fundamentals in playing team ball. And just shooting all the threes now, it's just a little irritating to me to watch an NBA game. No one shoots layups anymore. It's fun to watch for fans, but for guys that were pure in the game, it's a little difficult. This was via Jason Munn's The Commercial Appeal.
Now, who does that sound like?
You.
Me. It's exactly what I tell you all the time. That's the NBA has been manipulated so that the casual basketball fan can cheer, not so that the actual basketball fan can enjoy watching the game. The casual basketball fan wants to see threes and dunks. That's all they care about. So if you're a casual basketball fan and somebody hits a three, it's boom, right? That's what gets those. But the NBA did it on purpose because they needed butts in the seats. And you need more than just the pure basketball fans to cheer you on. You need butts in the seats. So yes, to Penny's point, I 1,000% agree. I would love to see more pure basketball, passing, cutting, back screening, back cuts, not just pick and roll for fade-out threes, not 7-footers standing outside who shoot 20% from three-point land but make one every, 8, and now they're three-point shooters. I get so tired of it.
But are you starting to see kind of the NBA infect college basketball? Because what you said earlier, now teams are shooting the ball more. And
no, what I said is, no, that's not what I said. What I said is the teams that are good shooting teams. That doesn't mean that they're shooting 73s a game. That means that when they shoot, they make shots. And at the college level, I hope it doesn't turn into the NBA because I love watching college basketball. I watch college basketball all the time. What I love about college basketball is the passion that goes into it as well. But and I get it, the NBA is full of huge dudes. You got to spread the floor. I get that part of it. But what I'm saying is it becomes so reliant. It's not fun to watch when I'm watching a team come down and you can see 5 or 6 possessions in a row of just threes. Not even good threes, not ball movement, wide open shot, just dribble down, one pass, shoot a three because the guy's not playing defense. That is boring basketball. I have no desire to watch that.
You know what they call you and Penny? Old men yelling at the clouds.
Well, I'm sorry that we understand how basketball is supposed to be played and you don't. I don't know what to tell you.
I just like basketball, period. So you can't run that on me. I like watching college. I like watching pros. I like watching high school.
I watch the NBA after the All-Star break.
I just love basketball, period. So I just love the game, period.
I think the NBA gets a lot more interesting after the All-Star break because people are starting to fight for playoff positioning. And so people play harder. And then up until like the last week of the season when the playoffs are determined and nobody plays hard again. But in the beginning, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch your favorite stars go out and make these amazing plays, things that you and I couldn't do if we ever wanted to.
Yeah, you know.
But I do wish I could see a more defensive, more of a push for defense in the NBA. Prove to me, and again, not a knock, Cam Spencer is a great shooter. What's going to happen when they lock up on him?
He fits the modern three-heavy code of the NBA.
And this isn't against Cam. Will the style of play allow him to still get open and get those shots? Is there going to be enough screening, enough ball movement, enough cutting so that he can still get those shots and shoot the ball the way he's been shooting it? If so, I'll love it.
But you know where Cam Spencer came from, right? He came from UConn, one of those fundamental teams that's probably UConn is one of my favorite college basketball programs to watch.
They're going to move.
I'm a softcore UConn fan. So I think Cam Spencer coming out of UConn, he fits that type of mold.
All right, that's it. I'm off my soapbox.